Hello, everyone. Welcome to Wynn's Literary Lounge, where pages dance off the books and words flow like the river. I'm your host, Winifred or Winnie Tata, and I'm happy to have you joining us here at another amazing evening in the lounge. As always, we will be discovering new delightful drinks, snacks, and books in our sip and read segment. Books that either you guys have recommended to me or I have been reading and want to share with y'all. Then after that, we'll hop over to the Chats and Creatives Lounge, where we'll talk with new writers and new authors and their journeys through the literary world and celebrating their grandeur in the publishing industry. And then we'll close out with a few messages from our sponsors. And of course, Wynn's Writing Corner, where I'll be talking about what I'm writing and what new updates we have for Wynn's Books Publishing and Wynn's Books overall. So find yourself a cozy nook, prepare your drink, and get ready to be whisked away on a literary adventure like no other. Here we are with our Sip and Read book of the week. And this week's book is Apprentice to the Villain. So it is currently a duology by Hannah Nicole Mayer, or Mayer. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. And this book is the second in the series. I have read the first book and it was great. The first book is called Assistant to the Villain, and it follows Evie, who is a assistant to the main villain of the story, and their shenanigans. And then, of course, chaos ensues as the book continues, and you get to learn more about these characters and really why the villain is the villain and why the hero is the hero in the story. And it left off on a cliffhanger, which I was, of course, bummed about because I love a good ending. But I'm so excited that now we have the second book in the series, Apprentice to the Villain, and it's started off really well so far. The book is geared towards more young adult readers, so I would keep that in mind, but it's still fun to read if you are a bit older than the targeted age group. Hannah does a great job of adding comedy, fun, and a bit of fantasy into the story. So definitely, I think this is a book to check out if you just want a quick, fun read for the weekend. Again, I really like the story so far. Again, I loved the book last time I had read it, and it was fun. So definitely, fun drinks would be, I think, a good fit for this book. We are back, everyone, and we are joined with our author for today. Her name is Epiphany A. Hightower, and we're going to be talking about crafting love stories in Shades of Ebony with her. So a little bit about Epiphany. She is an indie romance author and Best Romance Author Award winner for her novella, Someone Like You. She loves to talk about how she got started in the publishing and indie realm, and we can't wait to hear your story. So again, want to welcome you. Hello, Epiphany.
Hello, I'm so here. Thank you.
Yes, so happy to have you. So I want to kind of break the ice with what drinks or snacks kind of remind you of your books when you're writing, or what's your favorite type of drink or snack do you like to have when you're writing or reading books?
So I would have to go with Reese's Cups. It has always been my all-time favorite chocolate candy, hands down. So Reese's Cup, that reminds me, just it gives me a warm feeling when I'm writing or reading any type of, especially romance books. So I'll have to go with Reese's Cups.
Yes. See, I'm allergic to nuts, so I I
Oh,
haven't had any Reese's cups in a while. But yeah, chocolate is something definitely when I think of romance and I think of a quick snack or bite,
yes.
definitely chocolate.
Oh.
I really do love chocolate with berries. Oh my gosh, that
Mm.
is
That's amazing.
yeah, that's usually the one. I'm like, oh yeah, if I
Right.
can get a raspberry in there,
Right.
maybe a strawberry, ooh, decadent.
Right.
Yes. So I kind of want to ask you, so what inspired you to start writing about Black love in the romance genre?
Right. So my inspiration comes from just relationships, the way that they are formed, how two people can be from completely like two different backgrounds, but still like have this connection drawn to them like in the most beautiful way, and create a beautiful bond that is, based off of trust, love, faith. So, yeah, I would say just my interest in how two people form a romantic bond with each other is my greatest inspiration, and just the world around me. Just everybody wants to be loved. So I would say that probably is my greatest inspiration.
I definitely, yeah, everyone does want love in their life,
Yeah.
in any type of form, whether it be, romance, whether it be friendship, family, or just loving what you do. I definitely think that's important. So how do you kind of ensure for love with your characters and their love stories? How do you make sure that they remain authentic and relatable to readers?
Well, I guess the authenticity comes from, like you said, everybody wants to be in a realm of love. So I would say dealing with emotions, try to make my characters have emotions, not like, I don't want them to be robotic or, be what do we call it, nonchalant in this day and age. Make sure they have some chalantness about them, and be able to convey what they feel about one another, and go about a relationship in a way that is healthy. And in order to maintain or start a healthy relationship, everybody has to be honest and true with their feelings. So I try to make my characters always honest and true with their feelings, even though they sometimes you may try to suppress a feeling, but it's like you can tell that it's still there. So that's what I always try to do, make sure that they remain authentic and just have emotions while they're on their love journey.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I definitely understand that as someone who loves to write characters who go through a lot of different types of relationships and connections. I think again, making sure that it does feel real and they do have those ups and downs really does help connect the reader because we all know no story, a love story is really just linear. So having those ups and downs, I think, are very important and kind of thinking of ups and downs. So, how did you start even getting into romance writing or start writing and becoming a indie published author?
So I've always loved to read romance. That has always been like even in high school. Like I would always go to my local library and like point me to your nearest Black love romance section that I could find. And so from that moment on, I would take my books to school with me. They'd be like, "Oh my god, the cover would just be so." I'm like, but I just love it. Just always held my attention, even from like a young age. So, and romance is something, or love is something that's so universal. We all like have love, whether it's friendship, family, your spouse, your partner, whatever, with your animal, dog, whatever may have you. So
Yes.
yes, I believe love is just it's such a universal topic, and I think everybody can take a piece away from it, no matter if you're in a romantic relationship or not.
I definitely agree with that. And like you said, love is universal. And I think one thing too, though, is that we do have the category of Black love, even though love is universal, that we kind of have this category for Black love. And I want to ask you, do you see any unique challenges or differences with comes about writing or being put as a Black love romance author?
Mhm.
Do you see any difference in that and just being called just a romance writer or romance author?
Right. So I would say, excuse me, making sure that I would say a challenge. Well, not so a challenge, but always a weaving web is making sure that my characters are, that anybody could read them, but making sure when, like, if you are not a black person or a person of color, that you still know that what you're reading is about two black people that are in love, or this is about a black family, this is about black tradition, this is about, our culture, whichever way you have, the way we talk, slang, anyway. So um I wanted to, like, a story that is universal, but in a way that if you read it, and you know that this is, I'm talking about black people, I'm talking about black love, like, you can read it if you're not a person of color, but this is for, my people, my, the people that want to read black love and want to learn more about black love, and get more, and people who are not, like, versed in black love, don't know if there's books out there about it. Hopefully they can read my book, and that opens their eyes to a lot more authors, and things like that there is out there, that black love exists in literary. So check that.
Yeah, I thank you. I think it's very important because for a long time we haven't had stories and narratives that really signify healthy and positive reflections of black love. So I thank you for, really, stepping into that field and genre to, create your own stories that does represent that. And with that too,
Mhm.
how do you kind of find the balance between writing, of course, like that chill whimsiness of romance, and then also combining it with the stories of a black experience?
Right. So I always say that the black experience mixed with the, like you said, the fun, the flirtiness of romance mixed with black love. I always say black love is undefeated, in the 18th century, where, they couldn't get legally married. They just had to jump the broom in order to prove their, connection or commitment to one another. And, during that time of, just as the world go around now, we can legally, like, get married, or, and still people decide to jump the broom in a way of, giving homage to the ones who couldn't legally get into their union. So I, like you said, I love to talk about healthy, and I like to healthy, and healthy love is very important when I write, especially about black love, because the representation could be misconstrued in a lot of different areas. So I always try to make sure that it's healthy, boundaries are set, and that healthy doesn't always mean it's not perfect, because nothing is ever perfect, but making sure that it's healthy. And I think, sometimes healthy imperfection gets misconstrued a lot. So I always try to make sure it's healthy love mixed with, things that can be light, because everything doesn't have to be heavy, or love shouldn't be heavy. So yeah, that's what I try to do. Make black love undefeated, because it is an undefeated thing. We've been through so much, but also finding a healthy, passionate way to write about my characters.
I definitely agree with that. I see a lot of, even within the writing community, black authors who write about black love, but they don't have the most healthiest, or I would say positive portrayals of black love. It usually is centered a lot around trauma and sometimes harmful stereotypes that can be hard to, really, if you're trying to push out this message that we do deserve love and black people do deserve kindness and love and respect and honesty in all their relationships.
Right.
I think overall, sometimes we do need to do a little better inside to
Mhm.
really showcase those works and showcase that we do have examples of writers who, don't just, of course, writing about black trauma is just as important as writing about healthy black love. And definitely, I think we do need to focus a lot more and give more light to that, again, that healthy, positive look of love, that I think a lot of black people love to explore, love to have, and have in their own lives too.
Exactly. And I was going to say, even in friendships, writing about healthy women and men friendships, in their own like separate friend circles, like with women, like how is a beautiful friendship, how it's just supportive, and even with men, how they have healthy, male bonding. I think is important. And I like to write about male friendships a lot because I think that's important to see, like two like men just loving each other, embracing each other in a brotherhood. I enjoy that.
Yes, Black Boy Joy. We we love to see it. It's again, it's something that we don't,
Right.
at least as we, I would say you too, growing up, we didn't see a lot of in the media, whether it be writing, whether it be TV shows or movies. So getting, I think this new wave of authors and indie authors really pushing to have Black Boy Joy and Black Girl Magic front and center, that we get to explore these different um, facets of the Black experience, and one that again hasn't been told a lot, which is Black love. And I
Yes.
just love that we're getting so many new authors who get to experience it and write about this experience in a positive life, because it definitely it definitely needs it.
Right.
Um, and kind of with that, are there any like cultural or traditional elements that you love weaving into your stories that
Mhm.
pertain to you, maybe as a Black woman, as a Black person in the United States,
Mhm.
or just overall your culture? Like, if I'm usually in the South, so I'm a Southern girl. So the experience of a Black Southerner and a Northern Southerner can be
Right.
very different, and have different backgrounds and cultural experiences. So I want to kind of hear about yours, and how does that play into your writing too?
Right. It's funny that you say that because I have two sides, right? So my mom, well, my parents, my mom's from New York, my daddy's from New Jersey, but they moved down to Georgia. This is where I was born and raised. And so having that balance of like what it's like, being like in the South, and like how, to maneuver those, aspects. And like my great grandfather, he's from Barbados. So like maneuvering those like different dynamics of just culture, and bringing like my own like experiences. So I love to write about like the grandparents. Like I know for me, like my grandmother, she was an essential part of like raising me. And so I like to write about that, including like our foods, our culture, like our cookouts, how we celebrate, you
Girl,
know, just
yes.
our celebrations, whether it's, somebody graduated from high school, Juneteenth, what a Christmas, Thanksgiving, just how big family is, and how it plays a part in our growth. That it, is sometimes it's just not mom and dad. Sometimes it takes the grandparents, the aunties, uncles, everybody, the
Yep, the village. Hmm.
yeah, so like and all a part of our raising experiences. And I think I love to incorporate that into my books. Because some people be like, oh wow, yeah, like everybody, mom, grandma, big mama, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah.
Yeah, grandpa has a lot of ways of raising us, and how our celebrations, even like way 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 back, how we celebrate with music, and just fun and laughter and good times and spades if you play. But I don't play. But
I
you know
don't play well. They
I
got to
don't.
teach me every time. I-
Right. So I love, just the celebration that we all have when we get together as a family. I think, and the love and the camaraderie that we all have. I think I love to write about that. The good times. So like, you don't know, like, this gives you an open look into looking at like, oh wow, this is a cool experience. So, give it
yes.
someone who doesn't know about it firsthand, give them a secondhand experience of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like that nosy neighbor. You
Right.
have that one that just kind of, what y'all doing over there? So so definitely, that's so nice that you again take from those different aspects of, I mean, having parents who are Northerners
Mhm.
raising you in the South. For me, both my parents are African, so they were two African immigrant parents
Yeah.
raising us in the South.
Right.
So again, all these different experiences, and even highlighting that Black people were not a monolith.
Mhm.
Surprise, surprise to some, but we're not. And there's definitely, of course, interlap in culture and traditions. and remixes, as I like to call them, because they're usually the same things, just with a little twist to them. But
Yeah.
there's still such different, aspects to the culture from, Black people in Europe and Black people in Africa, and then the Caribbean, and then here in America, and then even different parts of America. So getting to explore those different relations and traditions, and how we kind of make our own little mixing pots,
Right. Yes.
and get to celebrate them. I think it's so wonderful and so amazing that you get to write about that.
Yes.
That's
So
um,
yes. It's, like I said, a little mixture of everything, like a little smorgasbord of everything. So I love it. Yes.
so. With that too, what do you kind of hope for your readers to take from your writing, whether it be you writing about Black love or showing them the experiences of joy in the Black community or between your characters?
Right. So I would say I hope our readers take away a form of like love, laughter, and maybe like courage if they are going through that situation or a similar situation. Courage of just encourage a healthy love for themselves, in whatever space it may be, and to set boundaries, because and sometimes it comes to make you have to be the bigger person to make the first move. And just because you make the first move, that you necessarily don't have to have that person around you all the time. It's just you're creating peace for yourself, because if you forgive somebody, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to have them like, oh yeah, I'm gonna call you every Friday or something like that. It's just that you just moved on from the situation. So I hope they take away a healthy meaning to what it means to be love and to give love, and maybe a mending of relationships, whether romantic, family, friend. And like I said, it doesn't mean that you have to be around that person, just a healthy form for you to move on, and for you to possibly close that chapter in your own personal book. So that's what I hope the readers take away from
Wonderful. I know for a lot of us, boundaries and setting
it.
boundaries can be hard, especially in the Black community where, like you said, we are raised by the village. So everyone knows everyone's business and everyone knows everyone, like what you doing, what auntie doing, what cousin doing, where
Right.
college they go to, what ship, what cruise and everything they went on last week. So, having and writing about setting boundaries and having characters, like it's something that's still, I think, new,
Right.
that I think universally that we really,
Mhm.
at least in this generation, are really setting forth to, like, hey, it's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to tell mom and dad, like, no, I
Right.
can't do this, or grandma, I'm sorry, but I'm not comfortable talking with you about that, or you saying
Exactly.
that to me. So it
Right.
can be tough, but I think it's needed to, have better and healthier relationships and channels of communication. So it's nice that that's what you want your readers to take from and be able to, use that in your own life, because it's something we all need,
Right.
being able to set boundaries and have that communication and
Yeah.
open channels of communication. Because I know some people that
Right.
work on open channels, of communication. So
Right. Exactly. Yes. And boundaries is very important.
yeah, and speaking kind of not in terms of boundaries, but for me, as a fantasy writer, I write about family dynamics and how that plays out. How do you see how you write about different relationship dynamics versus a non-romance author? How do you see, like, what differences do you see or takeaways do you get when you're either reading or talking to authors who don't write romance, and how
Mhm.
they write about relationships?
Yes. So, with talking to people who don't necessarily write romance, but they write about relationships in some form, I see it just always centers back to um the feeling, like I said, like not being robotic in your feelings. Sometimes if you're not careful, you can be robotic in every relationship that you have, and that could lead to trouble for you because you're not expressing yourself to, like you said, to your healthy boundaries, to what you will and will not accept. So I think that's important when it comes to creating a healthy space of love, family love, friendship love. I think that's important. And I also say just how everybody writes about family, it's all like the same way, just about love. Like no matter where we are in the world, it's still just about love, about connecting with people, because I think that's why we write, that's why we read, is to connect with other people, whether other authors, our characters. We want them to connect with each other. So I just see the theme of just connection on whether you're romance, non-romance, like I said, fantasy, mystery. It's just really just all about the connection that we all have with one another.
Yes, I know. I see. I'm someone who always strives for community and building community and connecting with new communities because I mean that's what makes the world go round is our community and connection to each other as humans. And I think it's beautiful that you get to write about that and see that in other writing, and maybe sometimes pull ideas. I know I definitely I read romance books and I that's how I think I get better at writing romance. I
Right.
know
Yeah.
romancy, fantasy, and romance is now a really big thing. So,
Right.
as someone who writes kind of in that genre, I think it's very important to again read other stories and see how again we connect to each other and what patterns we kind of try to pull through in different writings and types of writings as authors. So that's awesome.
Yes, and I know, like, for me, like, that's my highest form, like, creativity. When I connect with like other authors or read other things, like even like a comic, I'm like, huh, that's very how that
Yes.
connects, with one another. So I just always find like that's like my highest, like, oh, like that's my sparks my creativity.
Yes, I love that. But again, it was so great having you here today, Epiphany. And we loved having you on the lounge. Please let us know where we can find you, what you're writing right now, what you're working on, and what new things you have in the future for your writing career.
Yes. So you can find me at Epiphany Writes. It is yep, Epiphany Writes on Instagram and Facebook. There it is. And I'll be happy to connect with you all. Love talking to you all. And I recently just came out with a new book called Lisa's Story. It's on Amazon. It's a young adult book. Just focus like on the topic of if you seek revenge, take a grade for two. I thought that was very interesting. Navigating that with high schoolers, and trying to find their way. And I think it's a good adult read as well. Yes. So, yep, Epiphany Writes, and I will be happy to connect with y'all. And of course, someone like you, it's available everywhere: Amazon, Barnes and Nobles, wherever you want to get your book. It is out there. And yeah, I hope you it's like you said, black love, and you just feel warm and fuzzy reading it, and it makes you laugh, makes you just think, and just brings beauty into your life. So yes.
Awesome. Well, again, you guys follow Epiphany. She's a great writer, and I definitely know a great author. And I know her books are amazing just as well. And it was great having you here on the lounge, and we hope to have you back soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Hey, y'all. It was great having Epiphany here. I hope you loved talking with her and hanging out with us today at the lounge. So now we have Wynn's Writing Corner, and I just want to talk about a few things Wynn's books got coming up, what I'm writing, and what to expect in the future. So what I'm writing right now, nothing. I'm I just finished our fifth book in the God Science series in August of 2024. So it is called The Viper's Bloodline Awaken, and it is now available to buy everywhere you can find a book. And I'm not writing anything of recent right now, but definitely go check that out if you got time. But what I'm working on is, of course, Wins Books Publishing, publishing books for our authors. We have an amazing list and set of authors we are publishing in the coming months and year. And I'm so excited to have them all release. All the book covers and stories are so amazing. And I'm so excited to just share those with you. And again, have y'all talk about them, share them, see them, and buy our books too. We have everything from romance to memoirs to historical to horror. So we kind of got a good list of different genres and authors, and I just can't wait to show them all to you. Of course, don't forget to follow us here at the Wins Literary Lounge. You can find us at Wins Books on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X, and probably YouTube, Instagram. Oh, I said Instagram, didn't I? Oh, Pinterest, that's the one. We're just everywhere, but you can find us at Wins Books. That's WINS Books. And of course, also make sure you're watching and following us through the KDCP network. We are great, and it's a great network with tons of great authors. It's a network with tons of great other shows, just like mine, that you get to watch, follow, and have fun with. And if you have any questions, please email us at info@winsbooks.blog. I'm happy to get new suggestions for books, authors, literary news, or even some new snacks and drinks you want me to try out well, like I said, I got allergies. So just before I go buying stuff, let me make sure I can eat it first. But again, any questions or comments y'all have, please feel free to email us. We're happy to answer them. And we hope to see you guys in the next show. Again, it was great having you guys here at the lounge. And we can't wait to see you again. And with that, I say goodbye.